Okay, so I have decided that I'm going to do a tutorial on how to play Warhammer 40k. All the way through, from creating your list to playing the game, all the different phases and everything. So that's what I'm going to be doing. At some point I will show you building models from start to finish. Yeah, so basically this is for beginners who just bought Blackreach or are thinking of starting, or just got their stuff and they don't really understand all of the rules together. So I will be going through all of it, trying to fit in some more complex situations like different toughnesses or different number of wounds in squads, and going through some special weapons and all that kind of stuff. So for this tutorial, I am going to be running a small force, 400 points of Imperial Guard and 400 points of Space Marines. So yeah, and I'm going to be doing it with the 40k and 40 minutes rules that kind of came out in 4th edition, which is basically just a set of restrictions on what you can use in order to keep the game still balanced. So you don't have people using a Land Raider in 400 point games where no one can field enough things to take it out. So this might not make sense to you if you're a beginner, but in 40k and 40 minutes, you have some restrictions. The first restriction, a typical Yai. Let's just go to say this Ministrum Priest. Ministrum Priest has 1 wound. All units that, aside from vehicles, basically have a wound value. In 40k and 40 minutes, excuse my horrible handwriting, 40k and 40 minutes, restrictions here. That's an underline, not a cross out, of course. 400 points. I'll go through all the unit stats here after I go over these basic rules here. All of the units have a points value, and their upgrades all cost points. It's basically how you keep track of using equal-sized forces. So we have 400 points. No models with more than 2 wounds. So nothing with three or more wounds. So you can't use the Great Unclean one, which has 6 wounds in a battle with 400 points, just because it would be ridiculous and impossible to take down. No vehicles with armor over 33.
You'll be screaming no.
What this means, if you look at the any vehicle here, for example the Slayman Russ, they all have a front armor, a side armor, and a rear armor. If you add all 3 of those together, that's going to give you what they're talking about here. So in this case, you would have basically 10, 10, and 10, so 30, plus 7. So you'd have a combined armor of 37. The Layman Russ is a really beastly tank that's hard to take down, so something like this you can't use in 40k and 40 minutes. Basically the highest value you can have is like 12, 11, 10. Okay. You also can't have any models with a 2+ save. So no Terminators. Again, just these are all restrictions, just kind of to keep the game balanced at this point cost. Otherwise, things like Terminators and Land Raiders and that could just stomp across almost any list unless they just load up on Melta Guns because they know they're facing a Land Raider. It's really just meant to make it more fun. So another restriction is, I guess they're not all. You must have at least one troop choice, which I'll get into what a troop choice is later. And again, these are not the rules for a typical 40k game. These are just the rules for what's called 40k in 40 minutes, which is just meant to be smaller games, which is the game I'm going to be doing for this demo. All of these restrictions just restrict what you can take, but once the game starts, all of the gameplay is going to be exactly the same as with a normal game of 40k. You must also, you can have a maximum of one HQ choice. The HQs are the leaders in your armies. So, max of one HQ. Another one is no special characters. Special characters don't really completely exist in 5th edition rulebooks. Now they're just unique independent characters and stuff like that. For the most part, there's no special character rule like there used to be, but obviously this is intended to keep the game fair. It's a subsection of rules. It's not really 100% Games Workshop. So just when you're playing, be nice. You know, don't say, well, this technically isn't a special character. If it's a named character, just don't use it to keep it nice. Most of them have 3 wounds anyway, so it wouldn't make a huge difference. Okay, so this concludes all of the rules that we're going to be going by for this tutorial. So I'm going to end this video here, and we're going to pick up. I'm going to go over the different kinds of units, what the different stats are, and the force organization chart. See you guys then.